You wake up. Your neck hurts from the seat. The cabin is dim. The hum of the engines feels normal. That low, constant drone that usually puts people to sleep on long flights. You check your watch. You've been in the air for about 2 hours. Outside the window, nothing but ocean. Deep blue. Endless. Everything is fine. Then your phone screen flickers. The Wi-Fi drops. The passenger next to you laughs and says, "These airlines never fix anything." You smile. And then the turbulence hits. Not the gentle kind. The kind that makes the overhead bins rattle and a woman 3 rows back scream. Your coffee launches off the tray table. The seatbelt sign dings on hard, and the pilot's voice comes over the intercom, calm at first, then something underneath the calm that sounds like he's thinking too fast. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some unusual atmospheric conditions. Please remain seated." The compass on the screen in front of you, the little moving map every passenger watches during long flights, starts spinning. Nobody notices, except you. And then the screens go black. All of them, at once. 3 hours earlier, everything made sense. You boarded the aircraft at Miami International, a wide-body commercial jet, the kind that carries over 200 people. You found your seat, shoved your bag overhead, and settled in. The flight attendants moved through the cabin with practiced calm. Safety demonstration, seatbelt click, in the event of a water landing. Nobody ever listens to that part. The pilot announced the route during climb-out, a transatlantic crossing. You'd be flying southeast, cutting across the western Atlantic, passing somewhere near what the old maritime charts used to call the Bermuda Triangle, that loosely defined region between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where over the past century, dozens of ships and aircraft simply stopped existing. Flight 19, a squadron of Navy bombers that vanished in 1945, the Star Tiger, the USS Cyclops, almost 1,000 disappearances, officially unexplained. You know the stories. Everyone does. And you also know what rational people say. Bad weather, human error, the ocean is enormous and unforgiving. The Bermuda Triangle isn't magic, it's just geography with a reputation. You ordered a coffee, you watched a movie, you forgot about it entirely. Until the Wi-Fi dropped. Then the GPS tracker on your in-flight map started showing your position jumping, 10 miles east, then back, then somewhere impossible. The cabin lights flickered for exactly 1 second. The man by the window pressed his face to the glass and said, very quietly, "Those clouds weren't there a minute ago." You look, he's right. A wall of thundercloud, dark green at the base, enormous, moving fast. The pilots know before the passengers do. They always do. What's happening in the cockpit right now, you don't know this yet, but you'll piece it together later, is that both compass systems are giving different readings. The magnetic heading disagrees with the GPS heading. The GPS heading disagrees with the inertial navigation system. 3 sources of truth, and none of them agree. The captain has been flying for 22 years. He's never seen this. He doesn't say Mayday, not yet. He calls air traffic control in Miami and tells him he's experiencing navigational anomalies and requests vectors. Miami tells him to fly heading 090. He turns to 090. The instruments say he's flying south. Back in the cabin, the turbulence becomes violent, not the gradual kind, sudden, like the sky decided to throw the airplane. A flight attendant grabs a seat back and holds on. Someone's laptop hits the ceiling. A child starts crying and doesn't stop. And then the oxygen masks drop from the overhead compartments. All of them, all at once. 200 yellow plastic cups falling from the ceiling like some terrible flower blooming. A man in business class laughs nervously and says, "This is just precautionary, right?" Nobody answers him. Outside, the ocean below has turned the color of a bruise. The pilot's voice comes back, but this time it's not measured. This time the professional distance is gone, and what's left is a human being who is frightened and trying not to be. Brace for impact, brace for impact, heads down, hands behind your head. The airplane drops, not turbulence, a fall. You feel your stomach leave your body. The angle steepens. Luggage tears loose from overhead bins. Someone's shoes fly past your face. The engine sound changes from a roar to a scream. And then one engine goes silent, and the airplane tilts hard to the left, and the ocean comes up in the window like a wall. The last thing you hear before impact is someone praying. You don't know the language. It doesn't matter. The water hits like concrete. There is no slow cinematic crash. It is instantaneous force, a detonation of sound and cold and darkness. The fuselage splits. The ocean pours in, black and freezing. You are tumbling, weightless, disoriented, and then your life vest inflates automatically, and you shoot upward towards the dark water to a surface that takes too long to reach. You break through into gray morning air. You are alive. You don't understand why yet. Sunrise finds you floating in debris, seat cushions, insulation foam, a child's backpack, a duty-free shopping bag, pieces of aircraft fuselage you don't recognize. The water is cold in a way that isn't temperature, it's pressure, full body pressure, like the ocean is slowly leaning on you. You find 4 other survivors, a man in his 50s who was sitting near the emergency exit and pulled 3 people out before the tail section went under, a young woman who can't stop shaking, a teenage boy traveling alone, an older woman with a gash above her eye that keeps asking where the flight attendants are. There are no rescue teams. You have one emergency radio from the life raft compartment. It transmits, but nothing responds. Your phones are dead, drowned, battery dead, or both. The raft is functional. You get everyone aboard. By nightfall, you've seen nothing. No aircraft, no ships, no coastline. Nothing, except ocean in every direction and a sky too cloudy to navigate by stars. And then, something below the surface. A light, blue-green, moving. Not a fish. Too large, too deliberate, moving in a slow circle beneath the raft. The man who pulled people out of the wreckage watches it for a long time without saying anything. Then he says, very quietly, "Don't look at it." You stop looking. In the morning, you count the survivors again. There are 4 now. Nobody sleeps after the first night. Not really. The fog comes in at dawn, thick, white, total. Visibility drops to 30 feet. You could be drifting to land or drifting to nothing, and you'd never know. The compass from the emergency kit spins in lazy circles. Useless. One of the survivors, the young woman, says that it's been doing that since you inflated the raft, not just sometimes, always, without stopping. The teenager says he can hear something. You ask him what. He says, voices, in the water. You tell him it's exhaustion, dehydration. The brain under stress manufactures sounds. He nods, but he keeps listening. By afternoon, you can't tell how much time has passed. The fog flattens everything. The light, the sound, the sense of minutes moving forward. Someone says it feels like the same hour repeating. Nobody argues. It does feel like that. You check your watch, and the second hand is moving, but you don't trust it. Paranoia sets in the way cold does, gradually, then all at once. The man who saved people starts watching the others, studying them. He doesn't say why. You hear the rescue aircraft before you see it, a distant engine sound, growing louder. Everyone screams, everyone waves. You fire the emergency flare and it arcs orange into the gray sky, brilliant and unmistakable. The aircraft flies directly over you at maybe 500 feet. It does not circle, it does not slow, it continues east, and the engine sound shrinks and disappears. They didn't see you. The radio emits static that sounds like, if you listen at the wrong angle, words. An hour later, you find the wreckage. It drifts past the raft from the west, a section of fuselage, old aluminum painted in a color scheme that doesn't exist anymore. Inside what remains of the cabin, seats with ashtrays built into the armrests.